I've had so many examples. I think speaking to the England setup, Kate Cossington was a huge influence on my game as a youngster. She brought me into the England under-15s and sort of nurtured my talent from there. And that was my first introduction to international football. So I think that was quite a pivotal moment for me. But I think speaking to before that, there were a few community coaches and a few school coaches that I had. One of them at school was Paul. He helped me set up a girls' team at my school to then compete with other schools. And then at West Ham, the first grassroots team that I played for, there was a man called Rashid, and he was wonderful. It was welcoming, it was inclusive, and not too far removed from cage football, so it did feel like home on the pitches there, and that was a great transition to push me on further. I'd say enjoy every single day. Try play as much as you can. You don't need the best boots, you don't need the best balls, but all you need is yourself, a bit of motivation, and grab your dad, grab your sister, grab your mum, and use them as goalposts and practice your shooting, practice your passing, but most importantly, do it with a smile on your face. I think one of the biggest parallels that I can draw is obviously the pitch surfaces. We've got so many pitches here. In a way, it's like a poshed up Hackney Marshes. I'm 10 minutes from the Hackney Marshes in London. That's where a lot of the youth players are grown, I think. Ashley Cole came from Hackney Marshes. I've played many times there. So in terms of the parallels, I think having the accessibility to pitches, obviously we England teams, we've got state-of-the-art pitches here at Hackney Marshes. They're not as great, but they're still accessible, they're still open for teams, and I think as long as you have the surfaces to play on, from there the dreams are set to be made. I think first and foremost, playing for freedom, playing for fun is where all youth players should start. Obviously the serious stuff can be there, can come later, but I also think that's one of the luxuries of the women's game. It's that there are opportunities at youth level for players to be super serious, but there's also not so much pressure on young women, young girls to have to jump into a team and be there 5 days a week in the evenings for loads of hours where your parents might not be able to take you. So if you look at cage football, street football, it's an opportunity for you to learn the trade, but learn it in a relaxed environment, learn it from other players, work on your communication skills, your leadership, and do it all the while with a smile on your face. And I think that's one of the nicest things about street football. And from there, I think the opportunities are endless in terms of where you take your game. The serious stuff, like I said, can come later. I started playing for a team when I was 9, 10, and all the while before that I was playing street football, and I like to think that sort of gave me an added dimension when it did come to playing on the pitches. When you're playing on a pitch with studs on, the contact area is much smaller than compared to when you're with like trainers or AstroTurfs. So definitely the use of the sole of the foot, where you can navigate the ball to get out of tight areas to nutmeg someone. I'm sure Chloe did a lot of that, myself less so. But yeah, like just using the different surfaces of the shoe, of the boot, is something that you're introduced to in the cage and in street football.